When someone walks away from a relationship, it can feel like an abrupt and final decision, leaving one person to grapple with feelings of loss, confusion, and rejection. Yet, as time passes, it's not uncommon for that same person to reach back out or even attempt to rekindle the relationship they once dismissed. This behavior may seem contradictory, especially after they've made the choice to walk away, but one powerful reason for a return is the pull of familiarity and comfort that comes with a well-established bond. In our fast-paced world, new experiences, opportunities, and connections are readily available. It's easy to get swept up in the idea of pursuing something novel, something different from the past. This desire can drive people to end relationships in the hopes of finding something that feels more exciting, different, or fulfilling. They might assume that something unfamiliar holds the promise of growth and self-discovery. However, once the excitement of something new wears off, they often come to realize that these fresh experiences lack the depth and emotional intimacy that an established relationship provides. The familiarity they left behind suddenly feels more meaningful, safe, and grounding than the unpredictability of new connections. Being deeply known by another person is a rare experience in life, one that's challenging to find and maintain. True familiarity goes beyond simply knowing someone's favorite foods or how they take their coffee. It's an emotional bond where both partners understand each other's strengths, vulnerabilities, and quirks. In the context of romance, familiarity can translate to comfort and acceptance, providing a sanctuary from the pressures of the outside world. Many people find themselves returning to a previous relationship because they miss that sense of comfort and understanding. They realize that the world can be isolating and that a bond built over time through shared experiences and mutual support holds a value they may have overlooked in the past. Human nature is deeply wired for connection, and people crave a sense of belonging. When we build long-term connections with someone, we intertwine our lives in ways that are difficult to replicate with someone new. Shared memories, private jokes, and personal history form a fabric that weaves two people together. Over time, this bond creates a feeling of home in the relationship. No matter where we go or who we meet, there's an irreplaceable quality to a relationship that has seen us through highs and lows, trials and joys. For many, leaving that behind initially feels freeing, but eventually they come to realize how hard it is to find the same level of ease and comfort elsewhere. Beyond comfort, familiarity brings a sense of security that is hard to attain with someone new. A new relationship can be full of insecurities and unknowns, where each person is still learning to read the other's cues, testing boundaries, and discovering each other's true selves. But with a person who has known you over time, much of this uncertainty fades. They already know your strengths and flaws, and still they chose to stand by you. In returning to a former relationship, people often seek to reclaim that sense of security. When they step back into familiar territory, they know what to expect and how to navigate the relationship's unique dynamics, offering relief from the emotional exhaustion that comes with starting over. Another key factor that drives people back is that they realize the connection they had was not as easily replaceable as they once thought. Often, the initial breakup occurs when one partner believes they can find someone more suited to their needs or expectations. But over time, they may discover that the world outside holds fewer people who genuinely understand them as their former partner did. New people may seem exciting at first, but as the relationship progresses, the complexities of human interaction reveal that depth and true compatibility are not easily replicated. The old relationship, despite its imperfections, may start to seem far more appealing in retrospect because of the unique connection they shared. Moreover, life's challenges can prompt people to reevaluate their priorities. When someone leaves a relationship, they might feel they need something different to grow or reach their personal goals. But once they've experienced life without the support of a familiar partner, they may come to understand how important it is to have someone who genuinely understands them, someone who was there through both good and bad times. Realizing the difficulty of finding that level of support in new connections, they may return, seeking the emotional foundation that once felt so natural. Finally, familiarity and comfort are powerful reminders of stability in an often chaotic world. When life becomes overwhelming or when new relationships reveal their limitations, people often crave a return to what once made them feel safe. A past relationship represents a time when things felt more certain, a refuge from the anxieties that accompany change and novelty. In a society that constantly pushes for the next big thing, the pull of familiarity can remind someone of the value in something steady, something that feels like home. In the end, people return because they recognize that the qualities they valued in a past relationship cannot be easily found elsewhere. Familiarity is not a sign of stagnation or complacency. It's a testament to the comfort, security, and sense of belonging that grow when two people invest deeply in each other. It's often only after leaving that people truly understand the unique value of these bonds, realizing that what they had was not only meaningful but also irreplaceable. This pull toward familiarity is a powerful motivator, drawing people back to the relationships they once thought they'd outgrown but now realize they truly treasure. One of the driving forces behind people returning to past relationships after they've ended is a deeply rooted fear of missing out on something valuable. When someone walks away from a relationship, they may believe it's the best decision at the time. Perhaps they feel that being single or exploring other connections will bring more satisfaction, excitement, or personal growth. However, as they move further away from the relationship, they often come face to face with a sense of regret, realizing they might have let go of something truly unique and special. This phenomenon, driven by the fear of missing out, FOMO, can act as a powerful catalyst for someone to attempt to rekindle what they once had. The modern world is filled with choices and alternatives, which makes it easy to fall into the trap of constantly seeking better options. Social media, dating apps, and a culture that values individualism and self-discovery can create an illusion that there's always someone more interesting or exciting just around the corner. In the initial phases of leaving a relationship, a person might be focused on exploring these possibilities, feeling that the grass could be greener elsewhere. However, they eventually come to realize that this search often leaves them feeling more detached and isolated rather than fulfilled. The fear of missing out on a meaningful connection can intensify when they start to see their former partner moving on or thriving independently. Witnessing someone they once shared a deep connection with enjoying life without them can prompt them to second-guess their decision to walk away. This feeling is compounded by the human tendency to idealize the past and remember the positive aspects of a relationship with more intensity than the negative ones. As time passes, memories of conflict or incompatibility may fade, while the fond moments, shared experiences, and personal closeness become more prominent in their mind. They start to see the relationship through a nostalgic lens, worrying that perhaps they let go of something that could have continued to enrich their life. In a relationship, people often invest significant amounts of time, energy, and emotional vulnerability. This investment creates an emotional bond that isn't easily replaced. When they leave, they might feel a sense of freedom at first, but eventually the absence of that close connection begins to weigh on them. There is a sense of loss, not only of the person, but of all the effort and emotional energy they invested in the relationship. They realize that starting from scratch with someone new means building trust, creating memories, and overcoming challenges together, things that were already established in the previous relationship. They may feel a nagging fear that they walked away from a connection that was already developed, one that might take years to recreate with someone else. Furthermore, the fear of missing out also taps into a deeper, existential worry that maybe they overlooked something special and irreplaceable. In many cases, individuals who end relationships are in search of fulfillment, hoping that a new path will better align with their life's vision or personal aspirations. But as they encounter the difficulties of dating or the loneliness of being single, they may start to see their past relationship in a different light. This realization brings about the unsettling thought that what they left behind might have been exactly what they were looking for all along. It's a complex mix of regret and longing, where they fear that they gave up on someone who understood them in ways few others could. This fear is also amplified by the knowledge that some people simply cannot be replaced. Relationships that are deeply meaningful tend to offer unique dynamics that can't easily be recreated. Over time, people often recognize the importance of someone who genuinely cared for them, supported them, and knew them intimately. The fear of losing that kind of connection forever can be a powerful motivator, prompting them to reach back out and see if there's any possibility of a second chance. They start to question whether anyone else could ever really understand them or accept them the way their former partner did. There's also an underlying fear of facing the unknown. In the security of a relationship, there is a level of certainty and predictability that many people find comforting. When someone leaves, they often anticipate a world full of exciting possibilities, only to find themselves faced with the uncertainty and unpredictability of being on their own or with someone new. The excitement of the unknown can quickly turn to anxiety as they realize the comfort and stability they once had is difficult to replace. They might worry that, in their quest for something different, they've jeopardized a meaningful relationship that could have grown and evolved with them. In the end, this fear of missing out reflects a deeper understanding of what truly matters in life. Often, the initial reasons for leaving a relationship stem from a desire for novelty or fulfillment, but the experience of being without a meaningful bond helps clarify the difference between what is temporarily exciting and what is truly valuable. People start to see that while new experiences are fleeting, a well-rooted connection offers a sense of belonging and partnership that's rare to find. They begin to wonder if, in their pursuit of something else, they might have overlooked someone who was worth keeping. In trying to reconcile their longing and regret, people often realize that the very qualities they were seeking in new experiences, acceptance, companionship, and deep understanding, were already present in the relationship they left behind. The fear of missing out, then, isn't just about regret, it's about recognizing that they may have taken something extraordinary for granted. This sense of loss compels them to return, hoping for a second chance to embrace what they now see as valuable and potentially irreplaceable. It's a moment of clarity where they realize that the fear of missing out on a good thing is, in reality, the fear of losing something truly meaningful. When people leave a relationship, it's often because they feel they need something different, perhaps more space, new experiences, or a deeper understanding of themselves. Yet, over time, as they grow and evolve, they might find themselves drawn back to a past relationship with fresh eyes and a renewed sense of appreciation. Personal growth often shifts a person's perspective, revealing new insights about what truly matters and illuminating the value of a connection they may have once taken for granted. This shift in outlook can lead them back to a relationship they once ended, but now with a sense of gratitude and maturity that enables them to see it in a new light. Personal growth is a natural part of life, and as individuals go through transformative experiences, career changes, personal challenges, or self-reflection, they begin to reassess their priorities. Sometimes the desire to break free from a relationship is rooted in a need for self-discovery. A person might feel they can't fully understand themselves while being closely attached to another, or they might believe that being single will help them explore aspects of their identity they didn't have space for before. However, as they go through these experiences and learn more about themselves, they often realize that self-growth and companionship aren't mutually exclusive. In fact, personal growth can reveal the importance of shared values, emotional support, and deep connection, leading them to recognize the significance of a partner they once left behind. With time and growth, people often come to understand their own emotional needs more clearly. The absence of a partner can create space for reflection, enabling them to see how their relationship contributed to their well-being and personal happiness. They may realize that they overlooked qualities in their former partner that are, in hindsight, rare and meaningful traits like kindness, patience, or a shared sense of humor. As they develop a stronger sense of what they truly want in a relationship, they begin to recognize that their previous relationship held many of these qualities. This understanding can prompt them to reconsider a past partner, acknowledging that what they had may align more closely with their current self than they previously thought. Additionally, personal growth often brings about a greater capacity for empathy and understanding. When individuals take time to work on themselves, they may gain insight into their own flaws and limitations. This process helps them see the relationship's dynamics from a more compassionate viewpoint. Perhaps they begin to see how their actions contributed to conflicts or misunderstandings, or they come to understand why their former partner reacted in certain ways. This new level of empathy enables them to appreciate their ex-partner in a way they couldn't before. They start to view past challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable problems, making them more open to reconnecting from a place of mutual understanding. Another way personal growth influences perspective is by reducing unrealistic expectations. When people are young or inexperienced in relationships, they may enter them with idealistic expectations of love and partnership. They might believe that a perfect relationship should be devoid of conflict or that their partner should meet all their emotional needs effortlessly. However, as they mature and go through personal growth, they begin to see relationships in a more realistic and grounded way. They recognize that no relationship is perfect and that every partnership requires effort, compromise, and resilience. With this newfound perspective, they may look back on a former relationship with an appreciation for the positives, viewing past challenges as normal parts of a healthy relationship rather than as signs of incompatibility. Personal growth also fosters resilience and emotional stability, traits that are essential for a healthy partnership. When individuals work on themselves, they build inner resources to handle life's ups and downs without relying solely on a partner for validation or happiness. This shift makes them better equipped to contribute positively to a relationship rather than depending on it to fill emotional voids. As they grow, they realize that they're now able to bring a stronger, more balanced self to the table, which changes their perspective on what they can offer to and expect from a partner. They may look back on their former relationship and feel that with their newfound strength and maturity, they could navigate it more successfully this time around. Personal growth often clarifies what truly matters in life, helping individuals distinguish between fleeting desires and long-term values. For instance, after some time spent exploring independence, a person might realize that personal freedom, while valuable, is less important to them than a sense of shared purpose with a partner. They may come to understand that the stability and support of a loving relationship contributes significantly to their happiness and well-being. In this light, they might recognize that they undervalued their former partner's steady presence or misunderstood their desire for commitment. Realizing that these values align with their deeper needs can inspire them to reconnect, seeking a relationship that's rooted in a mutual understanding of what truly matters. Finally, personal growth can cultivate a sense of gratitude that was absent before. When people are focused on what they lack or on perceived imperfections in their partner, they might overlook the positive aspects of the relationship. But through personal development, they often become more attuned to gratitude, recognizing the simple but profound joys of companionship, trust, and mutual support. This gratitude can reshape their view of a past relationship, allowing them to see it as something special rather than something they needed to escape. Armed with this new appreciation, they may feel compelled to reach out and reconnect, bringing a spirit of thankfulness and maturity that can create a stronger foundation for a renewed relationship. In many ways, personal growth acts as a lens, helping people to see past relationships with greater clarity and insight. It enables them to shed old resentments, understand themselves and their partner better, and approach relationships with a balanced perspective. For those who have done the work of self-reflection and development, the decision to return isn't simply about rekindling a past romance, it's about revisiting a connection with the wisdom and insight that growth has afforded them. It's a chance to bring a more mature, compassionate self into a partnership that, with this renewed perspective, may be more fulfilling and resilient than ever before. Loneliness and vulnerability can significantly impact a person's desire to return to a relationship they previously walked away from. While people often leave relationships in search of personal freedom, new experiences, or greater independence, the reality of being alone can bring unexpected feelings of isolation and emotional vulnerability. This often leads them to reconsider past connections, particularly those that offered a deep sense of comfort and companionship. Over time, loneliness can strip away the allure of independence and reveal the profound impact that a close bond has on one's mental and emotional well-being. When faced with the solitude they once sought, individuals may come to realize that what they truly value isn't simply being alone, but feeling deeply understood and supported, a realization that can drive them back to a former partner with newfound appreciation. In the initial stages of a breakup, people may feel exhilarated by the freedom that comes with single life. They no longer need to account for another person's emotions, compromise on their time, or navigate the intricacies of a relationship. This freedom can be refreshing, giving them the space to reconnect with themselves or focus on new pursuits. However, as time goes on, this freedom often reveals a different reality, one where the absence of intimacy becomes a weight rather than a relief. Without someone to share daily experiences, small victories, or personal struggles, a sense of loneliness can grow, creating a void that's difficult to ignore. This is particularly true for people who experienced a deep emotional bond in their previous relationship. Losing that connection can be more challenging than anticipated, leaving them yearning for the warmth and familiarity they once knew. Loneliness can also bring about a heightened sense of vulnerability. When people are in relationships, they often have a support system that helps them cope with life's challenges. Even during difficult times, knowing that there's someone who cares deeply and is available for comfort and encouragement creates a powerful buffer against life's hardships. But when that support system is gone, the vulnerabilities they once shared with a partner become more difficult to face alone. They may start to feel exposed, lacking the emotional safety net that a close relationship provides. Everyday stresses that once felt manageable with the support of a partner can suddenly seem overwhelming, leading to an increased desire to return to the relationship that previously offered a sense of stability and security. Human beings are social creatures inherently wired to seek connection and companionship. For many, the realization that they are without a meaningful connection can provoke a deep-seated sense of loneliness, especially if their past relationship was marked by genuine emotional closeness. This awareness often emerges more sharply when they see others around them engaged in loving partnerships, whether friends, family, or even strangers. Witnessing others sharing laughter, mutual support, or companionship can serve as a painful reminder of what they've lost, intensifying feelings of isolation. These moments of loneliness and longing can push individuals to reevaluate the choice they made to leave, prompting them to reach back out to the person who once fulfilled those needs for connection and understanding. Another aspect of loneliness that drives people back to past relationships is the realization that emotional intimacy isn't easily replaced. Initial loneliness might lead someone to seek new connections, perhaps through dating apps or social events, in an effort to find a replacement for what they had. But over time, they often find that developing a deep connection with someone new is challenging. The emotional closeness, trust, and comfort they shared with a former partner took time to build, and the prospect of starting over with someone new can be both daunting and discouraging. This awareness often makes people appreciate the uniqueness of their past relationship, realizing that the familiarity they once had is hard to replicate and deeply missed. Loneliness can also create a sense of nostalgia that adds to the longing for a past relationship. In the quiet moments of solitude, people tend to reflect on positive memories more vividly, recalling moments of joy, support, and shared experiences. The brain often has a way of romanticizing the past, especially when faced with loneliness in the present. Memories of a former partner's laughter, shared routines, or the simple comfort of having someone to lean on become more prominent, and past conflicts seem to fade in comparison. This idealization of the relationship can contribute to a powerful urge to reconnect, even if they were initially firm in their decision to walk away. In addition, the vulnerability that loneliness brings can lead to a deeper understanding of the importance of relationships in personal growth and happiness. People often discover that they took the security and companionship of a relationship for granted. The experience of being alone sheds light on how much emotional well-being can be linked to having someone who genuinely cares and is consistently there. Realizing that they once had a partner who understood them, supported them, and offered a steady presence can be eye-opening, especially when they compare it to the emptiness they feel without that connection. They may come to see the past relationship as something they undervalued at the time, now recognizing it as a source of stability that enriched their life. Ultimately, loneliness and vulnerability highlight the human need for meaningful connections. The desire to be truly known and understood is universal, and many people only fully recognize this once they experience the absence of that connection. This clarity often emerges not as a weakness, but as a deep understanding of what genuinely contributes to a fulfilling life. The experience of loneliness isn't just about missing companionship, it's about recognizing that love and partnership add a dimension to life that independence alone cannot fulfill. When people come to terms with this, they often find themselves reaching out to former partners, not out of desperation, but out of a newfound awareness of the value of a genuine emotional bond. This realization can be transformative, leading them to seek reconnection with a maturity and sincerity that they may not have had before. As people move through life, their priorities and values naturally shift, often in ways they couldn't have predicted. A relationship that may not have aligned with a person's goals or values at one point can take on new meaning as they grow and their outlook evolves. When faced with major life changes, whether career advancements, relocations, or new family dynamics, individuals are prompted to reassess what truly matters to them. A relationship that once seemed like it no longer fit might now appear more compatible with their current self, leading them to reconsider a past connection in light of these new priorities and perspectives. A common factor that reshapes priorities is the experience of pursuing personal or professional ambitions. When people are younger or at an early stage in their careers, they are often highly driven by the pursuit of success, exploration, or self-discovery. A relationship may feel limiting if it seems to conflict with these ambitions. For instance, someone focused on career advancement or travel may not feel ready to settle down, leading them to leave a relationship in search of freedom or growth. However, as they achieve certain milestones or reach a level of professional stability, they may start to feel the absence of personal connection more acutely. They might find that while career and individual success are fulfilling, they miss the depth, support, and shared experiences that a relationship provides. This shift in priorities can make them view a past relationship in a new light, recognizing its value in ways they couldn't before. Additionally, as people mature, they often develop a stronger sense of what they need from a relationship to feel happy and fulfilled. Early in life, relationships are sometimes guided by idealized notions of romance, novelty, or external appearances. Over time, however, people begin to prioritize qualities like emotional stability, mutual respect, shared values, and compatibility. With these deeper values in mind, they may reflect on a former partner who embodied these traits but whom they may have taken for granted or overlooked. Where they once might have focused on superficial incompatibilities, they now see the meaningful aspects of the relationship that supported their growth and well-being. Life events also play a significant role in prompting a change in priorities. Major transitions like moving to a new city, switching careers, losing a loved one, or even experiencing health challenges can alter one's perspective on relationships. Such events often lead individuals to realize that life is unpredictable and that a solid, supportive relationship can be a profound source of comfort and resilience. In these moments of transition, people may find themselves thinking about former partners who provided a strong foundation or who shared an emotional closeness that feels increasingly valuable. The realization that life's uncertainties are easier to face with someone by one's side can be a powerful motivator to revisit a past relationship, seeking the companionship that once seemed less urgent. The experience of growing older also brings clarity about what is genuinely important in a partner. As people gain experience, they begin to see that qualities like kindness, trustworthiness, and a shared sense of purpose often outweigh superficial preferences. The process of maturing often involves letting go of past expectations that may have kept them from appreciating these core values. For example, someone who was previously drawn to partners who brought excitement and novelty might now feel drawn to qualities like loyalty and empathy. Reflecting on a previous partner who embodied these values, they may feel a renewed sense of appreciation and a desire to reconnect, realizing that they underestimated the importance of those qualities at the time. Furthermore, personal growth often leads individuals to outgrow certain habits, preferences, or social influences that once affected their relationship decisions. At different stages of life, people are shaped by their social circles, cultural expectations, and family influences, which can affect whom they date or what they look for in a relationship. As they gain independence and self-awareness, they begin to make choices based on their authentic needs and desires rather than external pressures. This change can bring clarity about past relationships, where they might recognize that the reasons for ending it were based more on others' expectations than on their true feelings. With this realization, they may feel compelled to reach back to a former partner driven by their current, more authentic priorities. The process of shifting priorities is also impacted by the desire for lasting connection and a sense of belonging. people often begin to value relationships that provide a sense of partnership, shared goals, and companionship over those based solely on attraction or excitement. They come to see that long-term compatibility is rooted in common values and a deep understanding of each other's dreams and ambitions. When they reflect on past relationships, they may recognize that a former partner shared this kind of bond with them, and they might feel a renewed desire to rekindle that connection. Where they once might have prioritized adventure or independence, they now place a higher value on finding someone who will stand beside them through life's journey. Finally, as people enter different life stages, they often find that their vision of happiness changes as well. What they once valued, like independence, novelty, or self-exploration, may now seem less fulfilling compared to the idea of building a life with someone who truly understands them. With time, they come to appreciate the depth and stability that a meaningful relationship can offer. Reflecting on a former relationship that provided this kind of support and intimacy, they may feel motivated to reconnect, realizing that the qualities they once dismissed are now what they seek most. In essence, a change in priorities and life stage is a natural evolution that prompts people to view past relationships with a renewed perspective. It's a process of aligning who they are with what they need, allowing them to make choices from a place of self-awareness and clarity. This evolution often leads to the recognition that love and companionship, especially when rooted in shared values and genuine understanding, can be more fulfilling than any external pursuit. With these insights, individuals may return to a former relationship not out of nostalgia, but with a profound appreciation for its enduring value and the hope of building something lasting together. You said, write the genuine regret and reevaluation expand into 700 words without heading. ChatGPT said. ChatGPT. When a person ends a relationship, it's often because they believe they're making the right choice for their personal growth or happiness. However, as time passes, the initial confidence in that decision can give way to a profound sense of regret and reevaluation. Sometimes, leaving a relationship reveals unexpected consequences that lead individuals to question whether they underestimated the depth and value of what they had. Genuine regret often surfaces after the initial emotions of separation settle, allowing a person to see the relationship in a more honest, reflective light. This feeling of regret isn't simply a fleeting sense of nostalgia, rather, it's a deep-seated realization that they may have overlooked something truly meaningful. As they reassess their decision, they may come to understand that their former relationship held unique qualities that can't be easily replaced or replicated, driving them to consider reaching out to their ex-partner with a sincere desire to reconnect. One of the reasons genuine regret arises is that hindsight provides clarity that isn't always possible in the heat of a breakup. At the time of separation, people are often focused on what they feel is lacking in the relationship, such as the need for independence, freedom, or personal fulfillment. These concerns can overshadow the positive aspects of the relationship, causing them to focus solely on what they believe they're missing. However, with the benefit of distance, they may come to realize that their former partner actually met many of their most essential emotional needs, and that the issues that once felt significant may not be as insurmountable as they seemed. This shift in perspective allows them to reevaluate the relationship's true worth and to see how their ex-partner contributed to their life in ways they didn't fully appreciate at the time. Additionally, genuine regret often stems from the recognition that love and compatibility are rarer than people often assume. After a breakup, individuals may seek out new relationships or connections, only to find that the depth of understanding and trust they had with their former partner is not as easy to recreate. They might realize that the emotional safety, shared values, and mutual support they experienced in their previous relationship are difficult to find in new partnerships. As they search for similar qualities in others, they may come to appreciate the uniqueness of their past connection, acknowledging that they took certain things for granted or failed to fully understand the strength of what they had. This realization can lead to a genuine desire to reconnect, motivated by an understanding of the value they left behind. Another reason for reevaluation is that people grow and change, often in ways that allow them to see past relationships from a more mature perspective. With time, they may come to recognize their own role in the relationship's challenges. It's common for people to blame a former partner for difficulties only to later understand that they also contributed to misunderstandings or conflicts. For example, someone may realize that they were overly critical, quick to dismiss their partner's needs, or unwilling to compromise on certain issues. This self-awareness can bring about a sincere wish to reconnect and make amends, driven by the hope of approaching the relationship with a more open, empathetic heart. They may believe that, with the wisdom they've gained, they could build a stronger, healthier connection if given a second chance. Genuine regret also brings about a deep sense of humility. Realizing that they may have made a mistake by walking away requires people to set aside their pride and admit to themselves, and sometimes to their former partner, that they misjudged the situation. This isn't an easy step, as it involves confronting uncomfortable feelings and acknowledging vulnerability. However, for those who experience true regret, this humility can be a powerful motivator to seek reconciliation. They understand that they're returning not out of weakness or loneliness, but out of a heartfelt recognition of the value they lost and a willingness to try again with honesty and commitment. This humility can also foster a sense of gratitude, as they realize that the love they had was a gift worth cherishing, not something easily dismissed. Regret also drives a renewed focus on personal growth. Often, people realize that in order to truly reconnect with a former partner, they need to work on aspects of themselves that contributed to the relationship's challenges. This might involve addressing insecurities, learning better communication skills, or developing a greater sense of empathy and patience. Genuine regret prompts individuals to reflect on their personal shortcomings and to take proactive steps to become a better partner. This transformation isn't about changing solely to win back an ex, but rather about becoming a more compassionate and understanding person who can contribute positively to any relationship they pursue. With these changes, they feel more confident that if they were to reconnect, they could bring a healthier and more mature version of themselves to the partnership. Lastly, genuine regret often brings a newfound understanding of the significance of shared history. When people have been together for a significant period, they accumulate shared experiences, memories, and milestones that become part of who they are. Ending a relationship means leaving behind not only a person, but also the story they've built together. For many, this realization only emerges after they've spent time apart, and it can be a poignant reminder of the bond they shared. The weight of those shared memories can prompt them to reevaluate the importance of the relationship, recognizing that the connection they had was not merely a chapter to close, but a meaningful journey worth revisiting. In essence, genuine regret and reevaluation come from a place of maturity, humility, and newfound clarity. It's the recognition that the relationship wasn't perfect, but that its imperfections were part of what made it special. The feeling of regret isn't simply a desire to return to the past, but a sincere wish to reconnect with a partner who played an important role in their life. It's a realization that, given a second chance, they would be willing to approach the relationship with a greater sense of appreciation, commitment, and emotional maturity. And in that reevaluation, they find a renewed respect for what they had and a hope that they might, together, build something even stronger.